Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video, and welcome to my NFL 2017 Week 6 picks. In Week 5, I went 6-8, terrible. Of course, there was only 14 games. 4 teams had byes. Yeah, I didn't do too good in this week. You know, a lot of games that, you know, like the Jaguars. Every time I pick against them this season, they win. Every time I pick them, they lose. It's just weird. But starting with this week, I'm doing this a little bit earlier because I don't know if I'll be available before Sunday. Now, of course, I'll be at home Sunday watching the games, but I want to go ahead and do it now. So that means my recap for the Panthers Philadelphia game tomorrow night. I may not be able to do that, you know, a little bit later this week. But let's go ahead and get into it. The Philadelphia Eagles head to Carolina to play Panthers. You know, Panthers playing on a short week. This is a tough game. Philly has played well. Defense has played good. Carson Wentz has played well. You know, he has some good weapons out there. This is going to be a tough game. Carolina's offense is starting to pick it up. The defense, I really like the pass rush. I feel as though the linebackers had a tough time against the Lions. They're definitely going to have to play better against this Eagles offense. But, of course, I'm going to go with Carolina in this game. I like what Cam's doing. He's played better the last 2 games. The offensive line has done a better job of blocking. You know, they found ways to use Christian McCaffrey a little bit more. Devin Funchess has played well. Kelvin Benjamin's played well. And even Ed Dixon filling in for the role of Greg Olsen. He's played well. So I'm going to pick the Carolinas to win at home. But starting with the Sunday games, the Miami Dolphins head to Atlanta. Atlanta's coming off a bye week. Play the Falcons, who they haven't looked too good this season. You know, they won some games, but they played some really close ones. You know, the Bears almost got them. I'm gonna stick with Atlanta because of the talent. You had a week off. Julio is more than likely gonna be healthy, so I'm gonna stick with Atlanta in this game. Next game, Green Bay Packers head to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Vikings had a tough time against the Bears, and they started to move the ball. Of course, they got that late game turnover with Harrison Smith. Green Bay, I mean, Aaron Rodgers scored a touchdown, and then, you know, when all they need was a field goal, he was able to drive the team down the field, score a touchdown. It's gonna be tough because Minnesota's defense is really good. Offensively, Dalvin Cook, you know, you saw how not having him really hurt, and they were going up against a very injury-plagued Bears defense. I'm going to stick with Green Bay. I think Aaron Rodgers can go out there and get him a W. He can go out there and make enough plays. Next game, Detroit Lions head to New Orleans to play the Saints. Stafford struggled a little bit in the last couple of games. He really started to pick it up in the fourth quarter of the last game against the Panthers, where he did help pretty much get him within. He helped get him within pretty much one score. New Orleans, they're coming off a bye week, but week before last against, I believe it was the Dolphins. Against the Dolphins, they pitched a shutout. So the defense has played better. You know, the last 2 times we've seen them on the field against the Panthers, against the Dolphins. I like Detroit though. Detroit's defense, despite them giving up a lot of numbers, I think, you know, the offense, of course, didn't help them out by really, you know, not being able to stay on the field. I still like Detroit. I think Stafford has a bounce back game. And they pick up the W. It's going to be tough, though. They're playing in New Orleans. Next game, New England Patriots head to New York to play the Jets. You know, Jets come off a win against Cleveland. I picked them in that game. And it's a surprise because I believe they lead the division. I'm not entirely sure. I have to look at it. But I believe up to this point in this game, they lead the division. But I like New England in this game. Tom Brady's played great. The offense has played great. Despite the offensive line not being that good. He's been getting hit a lot this season, and the defense giving up a lot of yards. You know, they're number 1 in terms of the amount of yards they allow. And then, I'm not talking about that's not a good thing. Well, they're worst. They're the worst. Even below the Saints. That's bad. But I like the Patriots to beat the Jets. Next game, San Francisco 49ers head to Washington to play the Redskins. I believe the Redskins is also coming off bye week. injury to Josh Norman. He's going to be out for a while. San Francisco hasn't been as bad. They've been able to put up some points. Brian Hoyer hasn't been a total bum. He's been actually making some plays. But I like Washington, despite not having Norman. I think San Francisco problem is they lost to the Colts last week. They just don't have enough talent. And Brian Hoyer, I give him credit. He's doing all right with what they got him, what he has out there. But I like the Redskins at home. Next game, Chicago Bears head to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Picked against the Ravens. They were able to get a win against the Raiders. Of course, no Carr, so that definitely helps out a lot. But the offense, they were able to put up a good amount of points against their Raiders defense, which isn't very good. Chicago, they got close. I mean, the turnover at the end of the game was backbreaking because it pretty much led to a Minnesota game-winning field goal. Trubisky, they have to get him some better receivers. I felt as though they were able to run the ball against Minnesota, but they have to get him some better receivers. Defensively, a lot of injuries at linebacker. They have some issues. I'm going to go with Baltimore just because the Bears have a bunch of issues. They have injuries, not a lot of talent in terms of your receiving core. And you expect your rookie quarterback in the second game to play with those guys at receiver. Nah. Next game, Cleveland Browns head to Houston to play the Texans. Houston comes off a loss to Kansas City, where they put up a good amount of points, and Sean Watson is definitely really starting to come around, despite his offensive line being not that very good. Defensively, they do lose J.J. Watt, which is huge, but they're going against Cleveland, man. If you got Deshaun Watson, which I do on your fantasy team, play him. He's going to put up some points against that Cleveland defense. The start of 4 o'clock games, Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Arizona, I believe, just made a trade for Adrian Peterson. I don't know how much it's going to help, but they got destroyed by the Eagles. Eagles is a good team. Tampa Bay is coming off a Thursday night loss to the Patriots. Well, they were right there in that game. It was a very entertaining game. They had a chance to win it. I like Tampa Bay. Arizona. Carson Palmer, you look at the numbers. Yeah, his numbers are good, but those receivers are making some amazing catches for him. Fitzgerald, Ross, all those guys are making some amazing catches for him. But I like Tampa Bay to win that away game. Next game, Los Angeles Rams head to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. I'm going to pick against the Jaguars again. Despite they made Big Ben look washed, which, at this point we've been arguing that for at least last season. He was terrible, and he wasn't that good in that game. And the run game was great for Jacksonville. Blake Bortles didn't lose in the game. That's pretty much what you asked him to do. If he can go out there and win it, yeah, of course, that's a plus. But as long as he doesn't go out there and lose it for him, which he can. I talk about him every week. But this defense for Jacksonville is great. Running game, great. Passing game, And the Rams come off a loss to a division rival in the Seahawks. It was a good game. There were some mistakes, like the Todd Gurley run. He should have dove for the end zone instead of reaching out with the ball, which essentially cost them 6 points. I like the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm probably gonna lose it again because Jacksonville always wins games that I pick against them in. Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers head to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Pittsburgh run defense was not good last week. Jacksonville, you look at Leonard Fournette's numbers. He did have that big run, but Big Ben, he threw the ball 55 times. He's at a point in his career he can't throw it that many times. It has to be Le'Veon Bell. They have to run the ball more. They can't throw the ball 55 times. Now, part of that is due to the score, but he's clearly not the player he used to be. So it's gonna have to be a guy like Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown are the two best offensive players. Kansas City, only undefeated team in the league. Offenses look good. Defense, despite the injuries, have looked good. Special teams, they had a kickoff return for it was a punt return. It was a kickoff return for a touchdown. I like Kansas City. They can go out there and get stops. Alex Smith is playing great this season. I like Kansas City in this game. Last of the 4 o'clock games, Los Angeles Chargers head to Oakland to play the Raiders. EJ Manuel, I don't know if Carr's going to play. Probably won't know till game time. He's probably not going to play. It's tough because I'm tempted to pick the Chargers, man. And, despite them only winning one game, that was against the Giants, Oakland's defense isn't good. It is a division game. You know what? I'm going to pick the Chargers. I like Marshawn, but bad defense outside of really Khalil Mack. A lot of those guys are not playing well. And you got EJ Manuel at quarterback. I'm going to take the Chargers. Sunday night game, New York Giants head to Denver to play the Broncos. This is tough. Giants come so many injuries. Sterling Shepard got injured. He injured his ankle. He's questionable. Brandon Marshall hurt his ankle. I believe he's out. He's out for the rest of the season. And we know Odell broke his ankle, so he's out for the rest of the season as well. So you just lose two. You lose two of your top receivers, and you lose your third guy. Well, your third guy's coming in banged up. We don't even know if he's going to play. You also got, from what I've heard in talking about their practice, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie walked out of practice, so he's suspended, so he's not going to play. Janoris Jenkins been having issues with the coaching staff. Team's a mess. And the Broncos come off a bye week, which they had an extra week to pretty much game plan for this game. They're healthy. And they're one of the best defense, if not the best defense in football. That's tough, man. Expect Eli to throw some picks in this game. Give me Denver all day in that Sunday night game. And the Monday night game, Indianapolis Colts had a tendency to play the Titans. The Titans have to bounce back, man. They have to bounce back. They really have to get into that, get started with that running game. Mariota's hurt. Who cares? They have to be able to establish the run. It's a division rival. You're a favorite in this game. You have to establish why your offensive line is so good. So they have to be able to run the ball effectively. You got the running backs. You got the offensive line. That's what they need to do. So I'm going to pick the Titans in this one. Hopefully they don't let me down. But that pretty much does it for the week. If I didn't already say, the teams with the byes are the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Seattle Seahawks. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, what you think about this video. Of course, your picks, your game of the week. Like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.